Hi everyone, I think I'm live. Welcome to another one of my LinkedIn live events. So today's topic is going to be overcoming your fears as a new and an aspiring coach. Now, this event is actually in the light of the fact that just last week was the launch of my life coach training and monetization program called LCTM. So, if you don't know about LCTM and if you don't know about me, by the way, I'm a life coach by profession as well as I'm a life coach trainer and a mentor, which means that not only do I have a life coaching business, but I also train other professionals who are really, really drawn to creating an impact to turn into professional coaches. So, LCTM is basically a lifetime training and coaching program wherein aspiring coaches get inside the program, get trained and certified as life coaches, as well as learn how to set up their own one-person coaching business from scratch in a step-by-step fashion. And new coaches or coaches who have gotten done with the training learn business skills and learn how to set up the business, how to actually run a business, and how to set up systems and processes. And all of this is for a lifetime, right? So when I started my program last week, and also I've been in conversations with a lot of new coaches as well as aspiring coaches, they tend to have similar fears, like fears that are very very same. And the reason they are same is because the only difference between a new coach and an aspiring coach is a certificate for most people, because most training programs tell you that their certificate guarantees you something. Their certificate will give you clients, it will be magical. Once you get this coaching certificate, your life will change, right? Nobody actually teaches you that a business does not run that way. Nobody actually teaches you that when it comes to running a coaching business, you need to have a business mindset. You need to learn how to sell, you need to learn how to market yourself, you need to actually learn how to create clients. None of that is taught. Most training programs only sell you dreams, right? So because that is the case, the only difference between a new and an aspiring coach is a certificate. Their fears remain the same, their mental blocks remain the same. If you have a history of being an employee in a company, you still have an employee mindset, and the truth is you cannot really do a business with an employee mindset, right? So on that note, today's live event is going to address that. We are going to address the most common fears that you as an aspiring coach or a new coach might be going through. And if you are someone who not only wants to learn and wants to polish their coaching skills as well as business skills, but you are someone who aspire to have a support all the time, as well as you are someone who aspires to learn from a coach who has already run the business, then you're very welcome to join us in LCTM. The second class is going to happen this week live. And the good thing is that because it's a lifetime program, you get to complete your training, you get to complete your certification process on your own time. One of the things that I faced as a coach in the beginning was that either some training programs taught me how to become a coach and then left me that okay, that's it, now go figure it out. Then here I am with a certificate, don't know, no, not knowing what to do. Or they were just scammy business coaches who have never run a business in their entire life, and they are teaching you how to do business, right? I specifically, personally, I wanted to learn how to do a business, how to run a life coaching business from a life coach themselves. I wanted to learn it from someone who has done it for themselves, right? So all the problems that I faced, I've tried to solve it through LCTM. I've made the program lifetime so that it welcomes people from all age professions, and no matter whatever time you can commit to yourself. Second, it is a blend of both getting trained as well as learning how to set up your business, which means that once you come into LCTM, you never really have to go anywhere because everything is inside. And third is again another thing that I saw in a lot of training programs were that they had no interaction with the coach itself, right? They were just team members, or they were just taught to do everything on their own. I wanted to get coached because I had a lot of fears, and I had in the beginning, had a lot of limiting beliefs. And similarly, when you get into a completely new profession like coaching, you will also have a lot of fears, you will also have a lot of limiting beliefs, and it's very normal, right? So I didn't want people in my program, students in my program, to feel lost. And that is why we have a Friday support session, a Friday group coaching session every single week for the rest of your life. Which means that once you're inside LCTM, there will never be a point where you will feel stuck and alone, and you will feel like I have no support. That will never happen. And you will directly be speaking to me because everything is handled by me, right? So I'm just going to quickly check if my audio and video is working fine, and then we're going to directly jump into the topic at hand. I think I am audible and visible. Okay. Yes, it's working fine. All right. So the very first fear that aspiring coaches who are thinking about, wanting to get their coach training done, and they really want to do impactful work, they really want to live a life where the work that they're doing is actually making impact, is actually meaningful to them, and they also are someone who has this freedom oriented mindset, but they really want to do a business, right? Or some people who are aspiring coaches simply want to build a parallel income stream, and coaching is something that really feels like a calling to them, but they have fears around that. So as an aspiring coach, one of the first questions that you may struggle with is this the right path for me, right? And whenever someone asks me this question, and I've actually done multiple live events on helping you get clearer understanding of whether life coaching is a fit for you or not. But yet again, I have gotten the same question again and again from people. So one thing that I often suggest to my clients as well in my high powered one-on-one coaching container is ask good quality and high quality questions, right? So this question, right, that is this the right path for me, is actually a low quality question and a wrong question, because there is no answer to this. First, what do you mean when we say that is this the right profession, is this the right path? Because nobody can say that. Nobody can tell you this is the right path for you. The only reason that they might tell you is that they themselves are trying to influence you, right? Second, there is nothing called a path wherein you will have 100% guarantee of anything. Even the jobs that you're doing right now, you can get fired anytime, right? Nobody can guarantee you that. So when you ask yourself that is this the right path for me, remember that this question in itself is wrong. There is nothing called the right path. The only thing that exists in your career is desire. A path that you desire or a path that you do not desire, and you feel forced to walk. Most people who do not like their jobs and really want to start their own coaching business tend to live in this illusion that the job that they do not like, and they're always afraid, right, that one day someone will find out that we don't know what we're doing, or we're just forcing ourselves to do. They know that there is no desire here, or very less desire here, but they convince themselves that it's stable, even though they are living in fear every single day, right? Stability should mean that you're not actually afraid. So you must remember that there is nothing called the right path. The only path that exists is the desired path. Do you desire something enough or not? That's the only question. So when you think about coaching as a career, always ask yourself, is this something that I desire? If you come from a place of is this the right path, then nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody can actually tell you, oh, you know what, do this and everything will work out. No, if someone is trying to tell you that, then it means they are lying or they're looking for their profit. And what is happening is that you are going to someone to soothe your own insecurity, right? So this is not school. Okay, you must remember, this is not school where people can tell you, okay, this is the curriculum, do exactly this and you will get this many marks. This is not school. Neither is this your job where everybody will tell you exactly what to do. The whole idea of doing a business is that you actually have the freedom, and you have the means to exercise your freedom. And when you have freedom, it does not come with a manual. So that is why one of the first things I'm helping people inside LCTM develop is a business owner mindset, when you're not always looking or coming from place of, oh, I'm a small child, tell me what to do, or guarantee me that everything will work out. Or you're not coming from place of an employee's mindset that, oh, I will only do whatever I'm told. That's not how a business works, right? So the question is this the right path for me does not exist. The question is, do you desire this path, and do you desire it enough to take action on it? That is the only question that exists. And if the answer for you is that no, I do not desire it, I'm too afraid, then life coaching as a career may not be for you, because you're looking for guarantee. So another dangers of this mindset of always looking for guarantee is that you may fall into scams very easily, right? People who are always searching for guarantee outside of them, or they're always looking for is this the right path, is this the right path, is that they fall into scams easily. They feel so insecure from inside that they're looking from security from outside. So always remember that there's nothing called the right path. The only path that you need to ask yourself is this something that I desire? And desire is something that you will feel in your body. You will feel pulled towards it. Just the way when you're in the wrong career, your body will feel that. Your body will feel bad. Your body will feel exhausted and lethargic. Your body will feel that I don't want to do this, right? Just the way your body will feel that or reject something. Similarly, when it comes to coaching as a career, you need to sit with yourself and really ask, is this something that I truly desire? Is this something that when I think about doing, this makes my heart happy? This makes my soul feel like this is my purpose, right? So that is the only thing that exists, the desire. Second, the fact that you will actually work on that desire. Again, desire is not enough. I'm not asking you to do daydreaming. That does not work either. I know a lot of aspiring coaches who like to just daydream, sit on their bed and daydream, one day I will change the world and stuff like that. No. First is desire. Second is the will, the commitment to act on that desire. That is the only thing that exists, right? Now, the second doubt a lot of aspiring coaches and again new coaches go through is actually imposter syndrome, where they feel that who am I to do this? Or maybe I'm a fraud. People will find out that I do not know anything. Or who am I to become a coach? Or why will someone actually work with me? What have I done? And stuff like that. So, few things I wanted to remember. Imposter syndrome is actually a sign that you're truly growing, okay, especially if it's in the beginning of a career change, or especially if it's in the beginning of you starting a parallel career like coaching. You have to remember that imposter syndrome is a very natural thing that happens to us as human beings when we are expanding our growth zone, because as human beings we have a tendency to be to avoid things that are new, to avoid things that may challenge us, because our body's job is to protect us from anything harmful. And whenever we do something new, try something new, even that new is something that we desire, your body will go into this zone where it may give you anxiety, where it may give you all sorts of self doubts. Your job is not to take those self doubts easily, and your job is not to accept those self doubts easily and just give in to them. Your job is to understand that self doubt or this imposter syndrome at the beginning of the journey is very natural. Your job is to actually tackle it and have better conversations with yourself. Another thing you need to know is that imposter syndrome doesn't really go away, right? In fact, the day you start feeling that I know everything is the time you should know that you have come to stagnancy. You will either be very easily replaced, or you are someone who has stopped growing. In fact, even today I've been doing my coaching business for close to 3 years now. I've had 200 plus clients, and I've done multiple programs and everything. Even today, if I launch something new, I do feel a sense of imposter syndrome. I do feel a sense of, you know am I doing the right thing? But that is the proof that you're actually growing. So when you are going into a newer territory, when you're truly tapping into your potential, this is a very common thing. Your job is not to get over it. Your job is to have better conversations with yourself. Second, getting used to imposter syndrome. Expect that some self doubt is going to happen. Expect that I'm going to question myself. I'm going to feel afraid, but you can do afraid. Every time you expand your growth zone, every time you decide that I want to live up to my potential, I want to follow my desire instead of feeling scared and sitting on that sidelines and watching other people live my dream, instead of that path you take another path of actually walking on this. Expect that self doubt is going to happen, because I'm doing something that I've never done before, and my primitive human instincts will tell me to not do it. But I'm not a primitive human being. I'm a higher level human being where I'm able to differentiate between my primitive fears and my logical thinking and my desire. Those who take their fears too seriously are usually very unevolved people. They have not evolved, right? They still think the primitive fears are, real. They think that their fears are telling them something, so important, and they don't ever take steps towards their growth. But if you truly are someone who sees coaching as a career, or you really want to do this, you must remember that you need to expect some self doubt, because it's going to happen, because you're growing, right? Anyone who feels that they know everything, or they are in a position where they just do not feel anything at all, it means that they have reached stagnancy. They've become a dead fish who goes with the flow. When you're truly going against the current, then you're going to feel that resistance, and that resistance is okay. And when you are in such a position, it's very important to be inside a program where you are supported, right? This is why inside LCTM every single Friday we have support sessions for the rest of your life. It will never come to a point where you will feel stuck and you will feel alone. It will never come to a point where, okay, you know what, a 3 month 4 month program is over, now you're on your own. I do not want that for students inside LCTM, because I am a coach. I'm a solopreneur. I work all alone. I'm a one person business. And I know sometimes it can get lonely. Sometimes it can feel like everything is too much and it's overwhelming. And that's why I didn't want people inside LCTM to go through what most coaches go through, because training programs simply do not offer support. So Be okay with self doubt. Do not take it too seriously. Do not make it seem like, oh my God, it's a big sign. I don't know anything at all. No. Understand the difference between primitive fears and you being a higher level human being, an evolved human being. If you take your primitive fears very seriously, then you will never grow, because your body's job is to protect you from anything new. See, your body thinks that anything new and unfamiliar is dangerous, but here you're following your desire, you're following your dreams, you're trying to build a career that you will be incredibly proud of. You're trying to build a life where you will never have to worry about money because you will have your own business. You're trying to do work that you are actually proud of and that will leave a legacy, and whatever other motivations you have around your business. So you know that what you want are things that you actually desire, and that your coaching business will give you that. So in this moment, that is why you need to follow your desire, and that is why I told you about this first point, that is this the right path for me, is a very horrible question, because nobody can tell you that, because you're not in school anymore, right? Most people, why they live such a mediocre life, or why they never come out of their fears, is because they keep waiting. They wait that one day somebody will tell me in a crystal ball, tell me my future, that everything is going to go amazing, right? They don't want to come out of the comfort zone, and such people do not really go very far. So I really hope that if you truly want to start your coaching career, you do not take your doubts too seriously, and know that this is going to happen tomorrow. When you have a thriving six-figure coaching business, and you take steps towards even scaling it further, you're going to have even more doubts, and that's okay. That's very common. That is why you should be inside a program where you're fully supported, and that is why you should also know to not take your doubts too seriously. Every time you grow, self-doubt is going to creep in. Just know that it's a fact. It's a truth, right? Another thing you need to understand is that coaching is a skill. Okay. And if, for example, I am, let's say, trying to become a potter, right? The first day or even the first month I go learn pottery, every single day I'm going to feel, oh my God, how the hell am I going to become good at it? But if I continue it for 6 months, I'm going to become really good at it, because when you learn a skill again and again and again, obviously you're going to be good at it. So understand that when you say questions like, or when you ask questions like, oh my God, who will work with me, or who am I to become a coach, what you're really, really missing out is coaching is a skill. Okay. In coaching, you are not a god-like figure who will give advices to other people. No, no, no. You're not that. Coaching is a skill, just the way marketing is a skill, pottery is a skill, or drawing is a skill, or architecture, like doing architecture, is a skill. So all these things are skill, right? If you have not learned a skill, you do not have the right to say that I will not be able to do it, right? You have to set that minimum standard for yourself, that if I've not given myself at least 3 to 6 months to actually learn a skill, give it enough time, then I do not have the right to question myself. That's a standard you need to set for yourself. That's something that I did, and that has worked very well for me. When I started my coaching business, obviously I saw a lot of coaches who were around me, who were very successful, and who were doing really well. And unfortunately, at that time, I also did not have a coaching program like LCDM, where I could have a coach who could coach me, and who could help me set higher standards. But the one thing that I did right in my journey back then was I set a standard for myself. I decided that if I have not given myself enough time, I'm not going to question my entire path. Because what is the other option, right? So for example, specifically for professionals who do not like their jobs, and they've always wanted to do impactful work, and they love coaching as a business, and they really want to do it, because I was like that. Okay. I asked myself that if I don't even give myself 6 months for this, what is the alternate option? Going back to work that I don't like, going back to a job that I absolutely hate, making money that I do not like, that cannot fulfill my desires, working 8 hours a day for someone else who I do not even like. So always try to think of what is the alternate option if I don't give myself a chance also. That is something that I often ask myself every time, self-doubt became too strong, that what is the alternate option? Going back to living a life that I already know what is going to feel like. And I did not want to feel demotivated. I did not want to feel like I'm living below my potential. I did not want to feel like, I wish I would have done that. I did not want to feel regret. I was very okay to experience failure, but I was not okay feeling regret. Because failure is at least something that you are proud of, that, okay, I tried. But regret is a very horrible feeling to have, because that's something that you really don't have any closure on, right? Because you're always wondering, oh, if I would have done that, if I would have taken that step, my life could have turned out differently. So Ask yourself that what is our alternate path really if I don't give myself a chance, right? Okay. Now, the next fear that a lot of people feel is the fear of judgment. Now, the fear of judgment could be, oh my god, what will people think? What am I doing? How will I explain my this alternate profession or the change in my career? How will I make people understand what a coach is? Or fear of judgment can also be around, how will I put myself out there on social media? How will I talk to people? What if I'm sitting in front of a client and they judge me? What if my colleagues judge me? What if my friends judge me? What if XYZ judges me? So here I'm going to give you three things to do. Okay, and it depends on the level of fear that you have. If you are someone who's experiencing fear of judgment, but you still can take action and you want to take action, right? You want to take action but you're feeling fear of judgment. In that case, I want you to understand that judgment will only come from people who do not understand what you're doing. Okay, so here you have two options. You can make them understand what you're doing, because honestly people are just curious. People are just curious about what you're doing. Okay, so they will ask questions, so just answer them, right? You do not have to take their questions personally. Simply answer their questions. And once you answer their questions, the crowd you feel who are judging you will separate into two segments. One are people who will be happy for you. They will be like, oh, you know what, I really want to see how it pans out. Another would be negative about you. This segment is someone you simply have to stay away from. That's it. Now, second, you are the type of person who's finding it difficult to take action, like who's finding it a little bit more difficult to take action than the first category. In this moment, I recommend that you do not actually have to go and tell everyone that you're doing this. Take some time, okay? Go to your coach, get coached again. Be inside a program like LCTM where you constantly have support, group support as well as your coach's support, and you do not have to tell everyone that you're doing this. Take some time to build up your confidence. If you are in the third level, when it is extremely difficult for you to move forward, you just cannot imagine putting yourself out there, just block people on social media who you feel may judge you. I'm serious. If taking action feels so difficult and you feel that, oh, this person will judge me, that person will judge me, then you need to understand first that if you don't show up for yourself, nobody's gonna come and rescue you. Second, the same people whose judgment you are really really afraid of, they're not going to come and help you feel happy about your life or will finance you the things that you want. No, your business will be doing that, right? So simply block people you feel will give me a lot of judgment. If you're afraid that your colleagues might judge you, block them on social media. Nobody cares. If you're afraid that your family members may judge you, block them on social media. Until and unless you start feeling confident, you do not have to go and put yourself out there in an exposed area if the fear of judgment is very very high. But do not compromise on your business, do not compromise on your profession, do not compromise on your desires and dreams, because you must remember that if you do not work on your fear of judgment, it's never going to go away. You will never come to a point where you will feel that that's it, I do not have any fear of judgment. So it will always be there. Your job is to move past it, and based on how afraid you really are of judgment, take actions accordingly, right? Okay. Before I go to another point, I just want to quickly check if there are any questions so far. I don't think we have any questions so far, or maybe it's just not displaying on my internet. I can't tell. Okay, so I don't think so far we have any questions, but in case any question does come up, feel free to share it. All right. So the next question, and again, one of my favorite questions is it stable? Now, why I love this question is that it often comes from people who think that stability exists outside of them. And these are people, and again, they're not to be blamed because, again, depends on the kind of background you come from. These are usually people who will always try to work on conventional paths, right? They are the ones who will go after degrees like MBA. They will go after IIMs and IITs because they think that a tag promises them something, or they will always play safe because they do not trust themselves that if they do not walk on the conventional path, what will they become. So these people have a very high fear of failure, right? They are very afraid of failure. They're very afraid that what will happen to me, what will people think of me, and stuff like that. So for that, what I can tell you is, when you ask yourself the question like, is it stable, you must remember that stability is an illusion, right? Wherever you are right now, be it a job or be it a business, the moment you stop trying, the moment you stop growing, the moment you stop providing value, you will become redundant. And that's true for your job too. You can do an experiment, right? Stop showing up for your job for a couple of months, like don't work there, don't give optimum productivity. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to be either put on a performance improvement plan, right? PIP, or you will simply be fired, or you will simply be given a warning that you will be getting fired. So this illusion that you have, right, that the job that I'm working in at, for 8 or 9 hours a day is going to give me stability, is an illusion. The same amount of time that you give to your job, if you give even one third of it or half of it to your business, not only will your business make you more money, it will give you more freedom of time, freedom of making choices, freedom of living a life that you actually want to. So just understand the fact that stability is an illusion. The moment you stop providing value, the moment you stop showing up, you will become redundant, no matter where you are. Today, if I stopped showing up for my business, let's say if I don't show up for a month, yes, my business will still work. But if I don't show up for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, what do you think is going to happen? I will also become redundant, right? My revenue will go down. Now, the only difference is that can always pick up my business wherever I want to. I do not have to prove myself to anyone. That's not the same case with a job. I will have to prove to people, why did my performance go down? Why was I fired? I will be judged for it and stuff like that. So it's not a debate between a job versus business. Just understand that stability is an illusion. And the reason you are so desperate for stability, or you might run behind stability, is because you're very insecure about your ability to handle things, right? You may have a very high degree of fear of failure. You may always find it very difficult to trust yourself, right? But stability is an illusion. So that is why you have to come back to the same question: is this something I desire? And another thing, that I often ask people is, it defines stability. What does that mean? If you say that, is this stable for me, what does stability mean to you? For example, uh, stability was something that I also wanted when I was just right out of college. And I was like, it would be so nice to simply have a stable, income every single month. Then I got a job, and I was like, there is some money that comes in every month, but the work that I'm doing is something I do not like. The fact that the amount of work that I'm doing has nothing to do with the amount of money I'm making, because clearly I'm working a lot more. And third was, I did not have any control over how much money I was making. Somebody else is going to decide that for me, right? I was not okay with all of this, so my definition of stability changed. My definition of stability became freedom. That if stability is what I want, I will create it. Because stability is something that you create first within yourself. And when you are stable from inside, when you have this inner stability and inner sense of confidence, stability outside of you is just a normal consequence of it. When you're unstable from inside, when you're always looking for validation, when you're always looking for, somebody just give me 100% guarantee that everything is going to work out, then you're someone who's internally very unstable, right? So you have to define what does stability mean to you, right? If you are someone who doesn't mind job dissatisfaction or work dissatisfaction, but you do want, let's say, a specific amount of money coming in, and you think your job gives you that, then that's good for you, that's great. But if you're someone who does not feel happy with the job, but you still believe that, I want to do this, I have to do this because it's stable. Or maybe you are someone who really wants to have a coaching business, you really want to become a life coach, you really want to make difference in other people's life, and you love the work, but you are afraid of stability, then you remember that stability is an illusion. Okay, it's just a matter of choices, it's just a matter of desire. Your desire to want to create an impact and to want to create a life that feels that where you have control over the money that you're making, the people you're working with, and the creativity you're exploring. Your desire for that needs to be higher than your fear around stability. If your fear around stabilities is higher than, freedom, is higher than, having more, let's say, control over your finances, or is higher than experimenting, then you should stick to a job only. And that is when going into a coaching business may feel very hard for you, or may uh, feel like, this is not the right fit for me, because your desire for your fear around stability is higher than desire for growth, right? To actually become a successful coach, your desire for growth needs to be higher than your fear of failure and your fear around stability, right? So, in short, stability is an illusion. If you stop working, if you stop providing value, either in job or a business, you will become redundant. It takes the same amount of effort. In fact, for me, it took less. Like even today, I just work 4 hours a day because I get to decide what work I'm doing, right? Back then in my job, I had to do things that I did not like or was not directly impacting my income. I had to do work just to show that, okay, I am working, right? That's not the case right now. I only do work that is directly making me money, or it is making me happy in some way, right? So I control my hours. The days I don't feel like working, I simply don't. I get to decide how much money I charge, how much money I make, and everything else. So for me, that life appealed to me more, right, than the life that I was living before. But that may not be the case for you. It does not make you right or me right. It's not a case of right or wrong. It's a matter of priorities and choices. Okay. So you must be honest with yourself, that am I really looking for stability, or am I too afraid that if I go do something on my own, or if I actually dabble into business, if I actually do something about my dream of becoming a coach, I will not be able to handle it. Ask yourself really. Now, another thing that I want to mention, and this is something I also made a live event about, and that live event was how to sort of start your 1% coaching business as a working professional as well. So, one thing that I often recommend to working professionals is that you do not have to quit your job if you want to start your 1% life coaching business, right? For example, inside LCTM, a lot of people are just working professionals, right? They want to start their own coaching business because one, some of them simply want to have a business on the side. Some of them want to ultimately shift to a business full time. They do not like their jobs. They felt that they had to do it for because of obligations. They realize their passion for helping people later in life. So there are both types of crowd. So you must remember that you do not have to quit your job to actually build a 1% business, because your 1% coaching business is not going to require more than 4 hours a week, right? How you give your 4 hours a week is on you, right? Again, because as a business, you have the freedom to decide whatever you want to do, right? You want to put in more hours, you do that. You want to put in less hours, you can do that. Nobody gets to dictate that for you. So you do not have to actually quit your job. A beautiful analogy that I often talk about with to my clients as well as my students at LCTM is, think of your job as a cash project and your coaching business as a passion project. You need your cash project in the beginning to fulfill your passion project. And when your passion project starts making equal amount of money as your cash project, you have two choices, right? You can either switch to completely your passion project and you can double down there. You can increase your impact, income, and live a life you want to. Or if you are someone who actually loves your job, you do not want to quit your business, then you simply have a parallel income stream. So there is nothing to lose, but everything to gain. But when you do not give yourself even a chance to try out, everything is to lose. There is nothing to gain, right? So you do not have to quit your job. You have to simply understand that if you truly want the option to sometimes, let's say, quit your job or even do pursue a business full time, then you have to start building that up on the side. You have to, because you have to start giving it some amount of time, so that over a period of time it compounds, right? For example, when I started my business, for the initial couple of months, so my plan was not to quit my job for like at least 6 months, and I would build my business for 6 months and then I would quit my job. But frankly, I hated the work that I was doing. I'm being very frank, I hated the work that I was doing. So within I think less than 2 months of me starting my coaching business, I quit my job. And another thing was because I started making more money in my business in just 2 to 3 months of starting it than I was making at my job. So there were a couple of things that happened with me, but that does not have to be the case with you, because obviously we all are different people. You may be someone who has a family to support. I was not, right? I'm single. I do not really have someone dependent on me. So my risk taking ability was higher. That is why inside LCTM I wanted to offer my students a platform where every type of person who has different risk appetites can come in. If you have a low risk appetite, build a business on the side, okay, and you have the entire life to complete your training program. That's why it's a lifetime program. If you're someone who has a high risk appetite, give all of your time to your business, build it at a 10x speed, right? Just the way I did. So it completely depends on you, because again, the beauty of a coaching business, and specifically a 1% coaching business, which is what you will learn inside LCTM, is that you get to decide every single thing, everything. Nobody gets to tell you what is right or what is wrong. Nobody gets to tell you how much money you can make. Nobody gets to decide your working hours. And more importantly, you get to do the work that you actually like, right? Not something that you have to do. Okay, I'm just gonna again check if there are any questions so far. Okay, so someone has asked they would like to know more about LCTM. So there is a brochure on the feature section of my profile. So you can just go visit it there, or you can just DM me LCTM and I will send you the brochure myself. If you're someone who's interested in enrolling in, we can simply get on a call and you can find out if LCTM is the right fit for you or not. Okay. So the next question I get is, how will I make money or how will I get clients? Right. So this is like on the same territory. Now, you need to understand that this question is a skill based question. How do I get clients? You learn how to create them. It's a skill. It's similarly like me asking, uh, you know, how do I do long division in mathematics? I learn it. I learn how to do it. That is why inside LCTM we have the monetization module where you actually learn how to create clients. You learn how to market yourself in a step by step manner. You learn how to build a personal brand on social media. You learn how to sell. You learn how to become a magnetic seller and an unapologetic and authoritative seller. You learn how to create offers. You learn how to create systems in your business, and all of it organically, right? We're not doing anything paid marketing or anything of that sort. For example, I run a multi six figure business and I've never used any kind of paid marketing. Everything has been organic, because as a one person business you have the ability to do that. It's very easy. So how do you create clients and how do you make money? So in a business there are multiple ways you can make money, right? You can do one on one coaching, you can do group programs, you can do retreats, you can do workshops. Depends on whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of a business. You are the creator. Whatever appeals to you, you do that. And a lot of people make money in business according to what their preferences are. For example, I have a friend who's an extrovert and who's also a coach. He prefers doing a lot of in person workshops and retreats in group settings. That's something that he loves. One on one coaching, he's not a fan of. But that's the opposite for me. I love group programs, but I love one on one intimate settings. I feel that when I'm with my clients one on one in trauma informed coaching container, their little lives change. So depending on your personality, because again, I'm an introvert, so I love one-on-one work far more. And even if when it comes to group programs, I do them online. But that's not the case with my friend, because he loves being in a group and face-to-face conversation than one-on-one coaching. He finds one-on-one coaching a little bit boring. So depending on your personality, you get to decide how much money you will make, through what medium you will make it, and what you actually like, through what you actually like, basically, right? So everything is a result of you learning how to create clients, learning how to do business, learning how to do marketing. Everything is something that is a skill. Nobody is born with the mind that, oh, this person knows how to make money, or this person knows how to use marketing to make money in the business. Absolutely not. None of that is true. Everybody learns. Everything is a skill. Similarly, everything that you're afraid of or have doubts about, it's just a problem statement. And when you have a problem statement, you solve it. So, and the answer to that problem statement is, you can simply be inside LCTM. If you're an aspiring coach, LCTM is the perfect program for you, because not only do you become a certified trained coach, you also learn how to set up your one-person coaching business from scratch. And if you're someone who's a new coach, and we also have new coaches inside LCTM, and you feel lost about starting to business, you don't know how to do it, or maybe you're a coach who used to coach before but they took a long break in the middle and now you feel lost about starting a business, LCTM is perfect for you to restart as well, because we are a blend of learning how to coach plus learning how to do business, right? Now, this brings me to the last point today, which is, I do not know how to XYZ things. And those XYZ could be anything. I do not know how to sell. I do not know how to create offers. I do not know how to write content. I do not know how to market. All of this are what? Skills. And we are covering every single thing inside LCTM. We are covering how to build a personal brand, how to write converting content, targeted content, how to do marketing in a magnetic manner, how to actually sell. All of these modules are covered from beginning to the end inside LCTM, and you will have access to them for a lifetime. So again, separate your feelings from problem statements. If there are problem statements that you have, that okay, these are things that I do not know, then simply learn them. It's a skill, right? And if you there is a lot of fear that you have, then understand that you have to separate your fears from your actual goals and desires. You cannot let your emotions run your entire life. If you do that, then you will never be able to grow or even tap into 10% of your potential. So you have to sometimes take action despite your feelings, because your feelings will not allow you to take a step in a bolder direction, because your body will tell you it's a dangerous territory. Your job is to have that conversation with your body, where you tell your body that, you know what, we are afraid, yes, but I can still do it. And it's very important, therefore, to be in the right program and to be with the right mentor, who can not only be there with you, who can guide you, but actually provides you support, right? So that is it for today. If you're someone who is interested in becoming a coach, you can get inside LCTM. You're very, very welcome. You can just DM me LCTM and we'll get on a call, and then I will explain you every single thing. If you are also interested in joining my community, I also have a free coaches community called the Empowered Coach, wherein I write every single day about life coaching as a business, how to grow it, different strategies around it, etc. You can find the link of that WhatsApp group in the feature section of my profile. And if you would like to work with me one on one, you want me to be your trauma informed coach, then you can simply DM me coaching and you can book a session with me. Thank you so much for showing up, everyone. And those of you who are watching this as a recording, a lot of people watch my videos on YouTube later, or sometimes as recording on LinkedIn. And I know that sometimes you have a lot of questions. So know that my DMs are always open and you can always, always reach out to me. Thank you so much for showing up, everyone. I will see you probably on, I think, Friday. Yes, I will see you guys on Friday. Bye bye.